Hey guys, Anyone Extreme RT here with a Cleric tanking build for Rift here. Now, it's going to be 51 Justicar, it's one of my trees here, 51 Justicar, 6 Cabalist, 9 Shaman. It's a bit of an odd build, but it works really well. So, 51 in Justicar, you're going to put your points, fill up the bottom row, fill up the entire second row, fill up the entire third row, fourth row, fifth row, sixth row. Basically, you're gonna fill up the first 6 rows. Then once you get to the third from the top here, 3 in Light of Creation, 1 in Thorvin's Law, and that is going to be your 51 points. Now, your 9 in Shaman is going to be 5 in Thick Skinned, 1 in Courage of the Bear, and 3 in Vicious Strike. And basically, I have those points in there to unlock Massive Blow. And your points in Cabalist are going to be 5 in Stroke of Genius, and 1 in Dark Harbor. Your main buffs are going to be Vengeance of the Winter Storm, Courage of the Bear, Main of Leadership for tanking, or if you're PvPing, you can use Main of Honor. Now, it really depends on the type of group you're with. Now, if you don't have a lot of healers, it's good to use Main of Honor. If you have a couple good healers in your PvP match, you can go with Main of Leadership for more resistances and stuff like that in armor. Dark Harbor is your other buff, like I said. And you got my Righteous Mandate. I usually put this on a healer when I'm dungeon tanking or when I'm in PvP because it just helps that much more. So now for your macros, your main spam macro is going to be Cast Ride the Lightning, Preceptive Refuge, Interdict, Bolt of Radiance, Massive Blow, and Censure. That is going to be your single target, 1 vs 1 main spam. When you get into AoE, it's going to be Cast Rebuke, Preceptive Refuge, and Even Justice. Now, for your main cooldowns, you're going to have Reprieve, which restores 100% of the Cleric's health and 50% of the Cleric's maximum health to the target of the Cleric's Righteous Mandate. So it'll heal you and the target of your Righteous Mandate buff, i.e. probably the healer. Now, some other things that are important, obviously your Provoke, which is your single target threat, Interdict, which is your 10-second cooldown interrupt. You have Purpose, which is your mana restoration. You have your DOL is what we call it, restores 221 to 245 health up to 10 party members, and that generates a lot of threat. Resplendent Embrace is really good too, increases maximum health by 20%, increases healing received by 50%. It's your oh shit heal cooldown. And Righteous Imperative, which is your AoE taunt. Now, you can macro this in with your AoE ability, but I would suggest not doing it just because of its long cooldown. Use that when you're in a dungeon and there's some stuff beating on your team and you need them off, so save it for that. Bound Fate is your AoE ability that you can weave in with your regular main spam, with your Even Justice AoE macro. I use that because it does quite a bit of damage and it helps with threat too. The other thing that I use is the Tyranny of Death. So this I use mostly in PvP. It triggers it only triggers early if the enemy dies or is damaged by a Cleric's Tyranny of Death. So it's kind of one of those things you have to use it to really understand how it works, and you can decide how you use it. So other than that, that's about it. All you do is you just spam your main spam single target and your AoE when you want to AoE. You need some mana, just hit that and it'll restore your mana. So that's all there is to it. You need a bunch of health, hit your main full health cooldown, which is really good in PvP. If you want to take a lot less damage, hit your Resplendent Embrace. Because, well, it really doesn't make you take less damage, it just increases your max health, so it takes them longer to kill you. But it works all in the same. So I would suggest using your Resplendent Embrace with your Reprieve if you're about to die. You can macro them together, and I've had them macro together before, and it works really well. But I still prefer having them separate, depending on what I'm doing, whether it's dungeons or PvP. So, because especially in PvP, you really don't want to blow both cooldowns unless you really have to. So I like to keep them separate, so I have something. So I have at least one cooldown available. So, I am going to go play this spec a little bit later tonight or tomorrow, and I will get up some gameplay video footage of this spec in a dungeon. So hopefully you guys enjoy this build. Now, I made this specifically for a guild member that requested a just a card tanking build with macros. So again, the main spam macro you're going to use is Cast Ride to Lightning, Precept of Refuge, Interdict, Bolt of Radiance, Massive Blow, and Censure. Your AoE macro is going to be Rebuke, Precept of Refuge, and Even Justice. So hopefully you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you later.